And a lot of the bots were making this argument that, oh, Daniel, you have a problem with the Gulf making deals, these Gulf countries making deals with the US and Israel, but you have no problem with Iran making a deal with the United States. Or you have a problem with Syria normalizing with the United States, but you have no problem with Iran making a deal with the United States. So that's a double standard. You're a hypocrite. What can you say to like such low IQ arguments? I didn't make the claim that you cannot make deals with other countries, with non-Muslim countries. It depends on the nature of that deal. It depends on the nature and the cost of that deal. If you are making a deal at the cost of your Muslim brothers and sisters, then that is something repulsive, evil, disgusting. It is haram. It could potentially even be an act of kufr, to betray Islam, to ally with the kuffar against the Muslims, against the believers, as many scholars have mentioned. So that's the difference. What is the nature of the deal? Now, if it's baked into the deal that the US is making with Iran, that if we sign this nuclear deal, part of it is that you cannot defend the Palestinians, you cannot encroach upon Israel to pressure them with missile strikes or with other kinds of military means. If that were baked into the deal, I would say I would be the first to denounce it. I'd be the first to say this is a betrayal of the Palestinian cause. This is a betrayal of our Muslim brothers and sisters. I'd be the first to denounce Iran for that. But that's not on the table. That's not what Iran is negotiating. That's not what Iran is agreeing to. But when you look at Syria or you look at these Gulf countries, they are making those kinds of deals. They are saying that we want peace with Israel, even if we don't normalize Israel with Israel, which is yet to be seen whether Syria will normalize with Israel. I predict that they eventually will, that they will be Jordan 2.0 fully. But even if they don't, they're still giving the guarantee. And this is what people don't seem to understand. Syria, Jolani, Shara is giving the guarantee that we will not come to defend the Palestinians. We will not attack Israel militarily. And we won't allow anyone on our soil to be militantly involved against Israel. And that's why we're going to crack down on Palestinian militant groups like Palestinian Islamic Jihad that has offices in our country. We're going to crack down on that. We're going to either put them in prison, or we're going to deport them, or we're going to monitor and surveil them. And what they mean by monitor and surveil, it's not the Syrian government that is going to monitor the PIJ or Palestinian groups in the country. They're outsourcing that to the CIA. They're outsourcing that to the CIA and Mossad. That's what's objectionable. That's what's the problem with what Syria is doing. And we just keep being told by these bots that no, you're an Assadist, no, you're Shi'i, you hate the Muslims, you don't want to see the Muslims win. The Muslims in Syria, it's just W after W after W, we're just winning. How? Okay, winning at what cost? Winning at the cost of, at this moment of genocide, you want to make that kind of argument? How disgusting is that? How much of a traitor, how much of a sellout are you? I was willing to give Shara and the new Syrian regime the benefit of the doubt. I was willing to do that. But it's just gotten worse and worse and worse. They just keep pushing the line. They just keep pushing the line of acceptability. And I tweeted that. Today, all of these, they're essentially Syrian medkhalis. They're saying, oh, there's no problem with normalizing with the United States. That's what they're saying today. Tomorrow, they're going to use the same exact arguments when there's normalization with Israel. They'll use the same argument. So how are they different than these Gulf medkhalis? How are they different from someone like Rabbi Faris, who says that, no, it's perfectly halal to have a deal and an agreement with Israel. It's perfectly halal. It's up to the ruler. The ruler decides. How are they any different? Except instead of Rabbi Faris's ruler, MBZ or MBS, it's Shara, it's Jolani. That's the only difference. So these are the same arguments. This is the same mentality. And it's a disgrace. It's a disgrace. And I'm shocked to see people who were very anti-Medkhali. They understood that this is actually contrary to Islam to prefer the opinions of a ruler or the mandate of a ruler over Islam. This is actually a violation of Islam. This is a betrayal of Islam. They were saying that. And they were even supporting me when I'm arguing against the Medkhalis for years. But now all of a sudden they've adopted all of these Medkhali arguments. And some of these idiots even openly say like, no, I'm a Medkhali now. Like, I'm a Medkhali for Syria. I'm a Medkhali for Jolani. Okay, like, do you not understand that this is the kind of inconsistency that brings into question your moral character, like your moral fiber? Like, what kind of a person are you that you understand that the Medkhalis are a deviant, but now you are adopting their deviance, except now it's for a different person? And then, yeah, so this is the kind of argument that the Syria Medkhalis aren't able to respond to.